If you want your ex back, it can be hard if they won't see you in person. And oftentimes this is because your ex is starting to move on and they don't see you as a romantic option anymore. They don't want to meet up because they aren't interested. So you're not going to be able to change their mind by having one conversation. To make your ex want to see you, you have to make them see you. That is, they have to consider a future with you in it before they'll want to spend time with you at all. So I'm going to give you the 4 things that you need to do that will change their mind about you and make them obsess over you again. Like they did when you first started dating. If this is the first time you've come across my channel, I'm Brad Browning and I'm a breakup coach from Vancouver, Canada. And in my almost 15 years in this business, I've helped hundreds of thousands of clients get through a breakup or win back their ex, and millions more here on YouTube. So please join the others who have already subscribed to my channel for more free breakup advice videos like this one. I really appreciate the support. What do you need to do in order to make your ex want you again? Well, let's jump into the first one, number 1, which is use psychology to your advantage. Now, after hundreds of years thousands of years even, of evolution, humans have developed certain psychological processes and habits. So your ex will have certain assumptions about how things will pan out after breaking up, and they'll feel, certain emotions at predictable times. And you can take advantage of this by using just a few proven techniques. Now, the first one is one that I'm certain you'll already be familiar with, and that is no contact. And there's a reason that I talk about this tactic so often, and that's because it works. It's effective on so many levels, at least if you employ it properly, and it really taps into the human psychology at the subconscious level. First, going into a period of no contact and shutting down all communication with your ex is going to help you avoid making many mistakes. It'll help you recover emotionally and be ready to move forward with winning back your ex when that period of no contact is over. Secondly, no contact is like shock therapy for your ex. Before breaking up, you were a huge part of their life. You probably spoke to one another multiple times a day, saw each other as much as possible, and really became a big part of one another's lives. So if you slowly reduce the amount of contact with your ex, over time, for example, by seeing them, multiple times in the first few weeks after breaking up, or by texting back and forth constantly, even though you're no longer officially together, by doing that, you're letting your ex settle into your life without you, more slowly, minimizing the pain that they're going to feel. You're basically, you're acting like a nicotine patch for your ex, helping them wean themselves off you and learn how to enjoy life when you're not around. Don't make it so easy on your ex. Employ no contact as soon as possible after the breakup and maximize the heartache and loneliness your ex is going to feel. Disappearing completely is so much harder for your ex to deal with than if you gradually reduce how often you talk or see one another. And don't worry about, how they'll feel about you suddenly going silent either. You're not doing anything that they didn't really ask for you to do by breaking up with you. And if your ex, demands an explanation as to why you've suddenly stopped talking to them, just reply with a simple, sorry, I've been really busy. It's nothing personal. I just know this is what you wanted. So right now I'm focused on moving on. And now that you're engaged in a period of no contact, you're also going to tap into another aspect of the human psyche. And that is our hardwired tendency to forget negative memories and emotions much more quickly than positive ones. Now, this is an evolutionary process we've all got built into our brains. And it's a good thing too, because otherwise we'd probably never get past the death of a loved one. But it also gives you an opportunity, because it means, that your ex is going to let go of negative thoughts and feelings towards both you and your relationship a lot more quickly than those happier memories. In fact, some studies have shown that it takes about 30 days for negative memories to fade, while happy stuff takes us a lot longer to forget. So in other words, when your period of no contact ends, your ex will have forgotten, or at least stopped caring about, many of the problems and reasons they wanted to break up in the first place. The good aspects of your time together, the happy shared memories and amazing moments you had during your relationship, those will still be fresh in their mind. So when the no contact phase ends, your ex is at the point where they'll be most receptive to nostalgia and least likely to fixate on the problems and the aspects of your relationship that led to the breakup. Now, I've said this many times, but I'll say it again here. No contact is so powerful that it often, on its own, makes your ex miss you so badly that they'll break down and beg to you to take them back. So use no contact because it almost always makes your ex want you back, whether they admit it to themselves or not. Now, if you're in a unique or unusual situation with your ex and you need some guidance on how to effectively use no contact in your particular scenario, please consider hiring me for a month of ongoing one-on-one coaching. You can see all the details and my current availability at breakupbrad.com/coaching. Okay, now on to number 2, which is to end toxic attraction-killing behavior. Now, this could be the most important step because it's something that so many of my clients are guilty of without even realizing it. There's a good chance that since your breakup, you've done or said things that have actually caused your ex to lose even more attraction to you. Now, don't worry, it's normal to make these mistakes, especially early on after a difficult breakup. But by continuing to do these things, you're only pushing your ex further away and you're slowly crushing your chances of winning them back. So the first thing you need to stop doing is outwardly showing your emotions. This is especially relevant for anyone who broke up very recently because in the first week or two, you're likely feeling heartbroken and distraught. It's natural to break into tears randomly and then suddenly decide you hate your ex and then minutes later start to miss them like crazy. And you can allow yourself some time to feel the sadness and depression, but you always want to keep those feelings private, especially from your ex. Trust me, they know you're hurting, but they don't need to know that you're, barely functioning right now. It's best to let your ex think that you're going to quickly move on and that you've got your emotions under control. And I hate that I even have to mention this, but please do not post sad lyrics or quotes on social media. Don't tell everyone you know how much your life sucks or how bad the breakup hurts. That type of thing is just a natural reaction after being dumped, but you really need to keep it to yourself and put on a brave face to the outside world as much as possible. Now, the next up is begging and pleading with your ex. So I know you might feel tempted to contact your ex and tell them that you're sorry, explain how things will be different if they'll give the relationship another chance, and maybe even break down and beg them to take you back. But do not, I repeat, do not let yourself fall into this trap. Don't beg for forgiveness. Don't plead for a second chance. Don't apologize over and over again, even if you did something genuinely that hurt your ex. Begging and pleading are the kinds of behaviors that destroy attraction, and they confirm for your ex that breaking up was the right decision. I mean, who wants to be with someone desperate and pathetic enough to beg and plead? It's just an unattractive trait, and it's what your ex is expecting from you. So turn their expectations upside down by staying strong and avoiding this kind of behavior entirely from now on. And along the same lines, you also really want to avoid conflict or drama. I see many of my coaching clients channel their emotions into anger or bitterness towards their ex, leading them to lash out or engage in arguments and drama. And there's literally nothing positive that can come out of an argument with your ex, and it's always going to push them even further away. So resist your desire to tell your ex how much you hate them, and resist the urge to try and get revenge by hurting them. Even if you've got zero interest in ever getting back together, there's really no point in trying to get revenge or engaging in an argument. And you also want to avoid seeking closure, which is something that I've seen many other relationship experts recommend. I mean, sure, maybe you'd love to know why your ex decided to break up, but right now, it doesn't matter. And I can guarantee you that your ex is not going to be honest with you anyway, even if you do ask them. Oftentimes, there's no such thing as closure. So for now, be patient and don't go looking for answers or explanations from your ex. And lastly, and I think this one sums up things quite nicely in general, don't let your confidence and self-esteem take a nosedive. Now, I know you might not feel like it, but you're still an awesome catch for anyone of the opposite sex. Your ex agreed with that at some point in the past, and you're still the same person you were when they were madly in love with you. So don't forget about that. Remember, you're awesome, and your ex should be chasing after you if they're smart. So give yourself some positive reinforcement from time to time, and don't slip into the mindset that this breakup is somehow a reflection of you as a person. It's really not. You're great, and your ex has just lost sight of that, at least for now. So once you've put an end to these kinds of behaviors, you're already in better shape moving forward. For even more tips and techniques that you can use to help change your ex's mind about breaking up, go to my website, breakupbrad.com, after this video is over. And watch that full tutorial video on my website where I cover a number of toxic behaviors and sneaky tactics that will make your ex want you back. Again, you can watch that for free at breakupbrad.com. Now, let's move on to one of the things you can do to make your ex obsess over you again. And that is number 3, have an interesting, active life. Now, this one is simple. People with interesting, active lives are more attractive to the opposite sex. That's a fact, and it's honestly a really easy way to make your ex wish they'd never left you. If you're like most people, you probably let your relationship consume, a large portion of your time. You spent evenings and weekends with your ex, you had mutual friends, maybe even gave up on some of the hobbies and activities that you enjoyed before meeting your ex. Now, the mistake that many people make is to continue letting the relationship take up their time even after they've broken up. So with more time on your hands now that you're not in a relationship, you can really start to pursue your passions again. And, fill your life with interesting, exciting hobbies and activities. Maybe you've always wanted to run a marathon. Well, sign up for one next month and, start pounding the pavement. Or maybe you want to learn carpentry. Sign up for an evening class. Join your work softball team. Make new friends. Reconnect with old friends. Go traveling. Double down on pursuing your goals in work or school. And, as hard as this may be for you right now, get out there and go on a few casual dates. Even if they don't work out, it's great for your self-confidence, and it's a great way to make your ex notice how much of a catch you really are. By living life to the fullest after your breakup, you're not only making yourself look more attractive to everyone around you. After all, you'll have more interesting stories to tell. You'll also put some pressure on your ex to rethink their decision to break up. I mean, why leave someone who's living such a fun, interesting life? Why break up with somebody who can easily replace you with a new date? And why let someone who is so popular and socially active walk out of your life? Your ex is going to feel FOMO, or fear of missing out, when they see how fun your life is. That's just human nature, and your ex is no exception. Trust me, folks, this is one of the best ways to make your ex notice you and crave you again. The more you put yourself out there and do interesting stuff, hang out with new people, and just live your life, the more likely your ex will realize what a mistake it was to end things. Okay, number 4, flirt with your ex and build sexual tension. Now, the final tip that I'm going to cover in this video is one that comes into play after you've finished a significant period of no contact. It's something that doesn't come naturally to everyone, but it's important and effective nonetheless. I'm talking about flirting. I'm talking about seducing your ex by being attractive, mysterious, and desirable. This is a powerful way to make your ex want to see you again. Now, in my best-selling program, The X Factor, I call this the reattraction phase. It's the third R in my 3R system. Now, flirting is something that I could make 100 videos on, so for now, I'm just going to offer up a few tips to help you flirt effectively over text message. So, tip number 1 for flirting, talk about the past. You and your ex are going through a rough time right now, obviously, but you have made incredible memories that you can now draw on to reignite your ex's attraction. So even a casual reference to a romantic night in the past will get your ex's mind racing with the memories of what you've been through. And if you can involve your ex in the conversation and talk about, the time you spent together, whether it's sexual or just romantic, then you're well on your way to reigniting their feelings for you. Tip number 2 for flirting is humor. If you know your ex, then you know how to make them laugh. Now, don't be too aggressive with this. They probably aren't in the mood to hear you recite your favorite episode of Family Guy, even if they seem to like that when you were together. So instead, just keep it subtle and low-key. But remember, humor can cut tension, and it can show your ex that conversations with you can still be light and fun. And the third tip for flirting is to validate them. There's really nothing that people like more than validation. And I'm not just talking about compliments here, although those can work too if the mood is right. But I'm talking about, listening to them, engaging with them in a real way. And this is super attractive simply because so many people don't do it. And this is another place where that knowledge of your ex really comes in handy. So figure out what your ex wants to hear and then say it to them. Because when you do this, your ex is going to know that you care about them and that you understand them and that you're the one for them. That said, you do want to use this technique selectively. You don't want to just be telling your ex everything they want to hear all the time, or you're going to come across as a pushover. Okay, guys, that's all the time we have for this one. To see more of my proven tips and techniques for winning back your ex, the best place to go now is breakupbrad.com, where you can watch that full-length tutorial video that I mentioned earlier for free. You can also, of course, leave your questions and comments in the box below and sign up for my one-on-one coaching at breakupbrad.com/coaching to get my ongoing personalized help as your situation unfolds. Thanks for watching, thanks for liking and subscribing and so on, and I will see you guys again soon.